Lads, I'm coming along very concerned, deeply concerned about Max Verstappen. Now, maybe the rumours are not true. Maybe he's on about retirement. If this is true, this boy's got to suck it up, man. And suck it up, princess.
Walsh running the Irish green, and look at the move, he's making down to the inside.
Moves to the front, what a move from 5th all the way to the lead in lap 1.
Walsh takes win number 2.
Peter. Lads, okay, first of all, let's talk about Max Verstappen here, okay? Now, look, I've been scouring the internet to try and find if he actually did say this. Now, apparently he did. Now, normally, lads, I always go to f1.com, right? It's actually the same. Formula1.com and f1.com is the same website. And I'm trying to find an article where Max Verstappen actually said that he might actually retire in 2026. Now, lads, we're only in 3 races in. And, okay, and again, we're saying if this is actually true, what the hell is wrong with him? Are you joking me? This isn't glamorized, lads. This isn't, he's dead right, lads. Like, we have to remember here, lads, he won 4 world titles with Red Bull. 4, okay? He's been through a lot with them. In fact, he even nearly won his 5th last year in 2025. Lost out by 2 points. He's had a hell of a career and life extension with Red Bull. Huge luck as well, okay? I'm not taking anything away. He's a brilliant driver. He's brilliant. He's got the balls. He's got the old school method. But here's where this whole Gen Z rubbish kicks in. And by the way, I'm not saying everybody's like that, okay? Just in case we get attacked. This is where now his little princess is coming out of him. You suck it up, man, and you take it for the team. The team, okay, they are doing diabolical right now. And, like, you understand that, oh, man, this sucks. I might as well just stay at home. Believe me, we've all been there. We've all been there. Every single racing driver. You have a nightmare year. Nothing's going your way. And you're like, ugh, Jesus. But you know what you don't do? Especially after Red Bull have been so good to him. So good. You suck it up and you take it for the team, man. And imagine being at your workplace, lads, okay? And you're getting paid to be there. And, you have a couple of good years. Things are going very, very well for you. And then all of a sudden, you're having a few lousy months. Like, remember now, lads, they've only been 3 races in. So I'm trying to find a comparison. Is that like maybe you having a few months at work? Maybe, okay? Even if it is. Do you turn around and say, "Nah, this is not doing it for me anymore. I'll just go to another company"? Is this really your attitude? Can you imagine if you had somebody at your workplace and they were acting like that? And you're pouring your heart into your soul. And believe me, Red Bull are pouring their mightiest to get that car back up and running. Every single team does. Every single team does. The amount of work these guys are putting into on the factory floor. And now all of a sudden you've got talks of the guy leaving. I can tell you, lads, I've been around plenty of racing teams, and if this is actually true, they are just in for a shock. And believe me, they have zero respect for Max Verstappen if he's saying this kind of thing. Now, you could argue, well, Christian Horner's gone, the new guy's in. Is it all gelling together? Believe me, the new guy as well. He's doing pretty well, okay? He's a pretty good team boss, right? He's no Christian Horner, but he's doing a pretty good job. I mean, he nearly got Max Verstappen to the title again. I mean, the guy was, over 100 points behind, and he comes back and nearly wins the bloody championship. It was an incredible comeback, and you have to tip your hat to the lads here. Like, this was a major, major team effort. This was not all Max Verstappen, okay? And believe me, every single world championship he got, he didn't win them on his own. He got Red Bull right behind him, and they gelled together. So, I'm not having a bitch and moan here. Well, maybe you think I am. I'm not sure. But No, man. So, like, here's what Verstappen should be doing this year. He finishes out the year. If he truly does want to retire, he says to the lads, look, lads, I'm packing it all in at the end of the year. It's going to be my last year. Now, that's understandable. I mean, most Formula One drivers retire, right? You know, touch wood, God love some of them that they don't make it out of the car. But, you know, you retire, right? You either get left off or let go. They don't want you again. Or you retire yourself. Plenty of them do. And the team would respect that. But at least, you know, that they'll know that Verstappen's putting in all his effort, all his work. He'll bleed for the team for the whole year. He'll take it for the team, you know? And believe me, even as a team owner, an aerodynamicist, an engineer, okay? And even these guys now, they, like, even if Verstappen didn't say any of this, they'd still be feeling, I wouldn't say embarrassed is the right word. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But, you know, there would be a certain, like, oh man, you know, like I've got such a good driver here with me and I'm just not performing here, you know? And they'll feel it, you know? And you want that guy to bat for you. You want your driver to have your backing and be there when the dark comes, because the dark has come to Red Bull right now. Let's be honest. So anyway, lads, you know, let's move on to Kimi Antonelli next. But, you know, I just hope it's not real. I really hope it's not real. Yeah, because that's a very, very sad thing to see. Okay, let's go on to Kimi Antonelli. Oh, Lord God. Lads, okay, first of all, there's a lot of hype around Kimi Antonelli right now. Now, by the way, he's a brilliant driver. He is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The man, he's good under pressure. Now, remains to be seen if he goes down for the championship this year versus Russell or maybe even Ferrari. And if it's down to the pressure, well, then we'll see how he performs. But right now, he's ticking all the boxes, lads. But there's a lot of hype around Kimi Antonelli right now. And people are, oh, he's doing brilliant, man. You know, no, it's a second year in. He's leading the championship. Great. Fantastic. It is great to see him that he's leading the championship. But here's the thing. He's in at the best car. This is what he's paid to do. In the words of the legendary Roy Keane, that's his job. If he wasn't performing, if he wasn't in the lead or maybe even second, you know, you could have a bit of a nightmare of a race or somebody's just right there with you or they're beating you, right? Fair enough. But if he's at the moment, he's in prime positioning here, man. Can you imagine if you're your own workplace and you're cheering on the accountant? Okay, they've done a good balance sheet, profit and loss account, and oh, you know, Jimmy, he's so good, man. You know, isn't he? He's genius, isn't he? Brilliant. You know, God, the way he does those accountancy books. You'd be like, well, isn't that his job? Like, lads, a lot of people, I guess, you don't realize, a lot of people, that, you know, for like a big transition in motor racing, the biggest transition is going from karting into a racing car. Like, honestly, even David Coulthard said that before, you know, it was an alien feeling to him. And I actually had that alien feeling too when I got into a racing car. It was like, geez, this is definitely weird. It's a completely different world, right? Now, you obviously, you know, you get your groove and you get into it and fine, no problem. But that first transition from karting into a car, the very first time, it's a weird feeling, lads. But once you go into the cars, and Antonelli, he was in the lower leagues, right? The only difference is that the cars are just slower. You still have gears, you still have pit radio, you still do pit stops, you still do, most of the tracks are the same. So like if you're in Formula 2, most of them are actually the supporting race, right? So they'll actually go along to a lot of the Formula 1 tracks. And you're racing the same. It's the same racing. You're going to overtake the guy in front of you, keep him behind you, whatever it is. There's still the downforce in play. There's still the mechanical grip in play. Using tires, wearing tires, the race strategy. It's all the same, lads. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of like people have come from I'm trying to find the word, lads. it's like people have come from a lower standard of your outlook. Now, there is a bit of an ego in Formula One, lads, okay? Is that people, oh, well, it's the pinnacle, which it is, right? Of course it is. But a lot of people in Formula One want everybody to think that it's the special elite, right? And you have a lot to learn. Really? A lot to learn? That's complete, I don't want to curse, that's complete crap talk. Total crap talk. Lads, the only bit of learning you do is learning the car itself. You mightn't have driven that style of car before, where, there's really, it comes down to two driving styles, mostly. Like driving style number one would be braking in a straight line. You turn in off the power when you get to the apex, boom, you're using the power to throttle on, okay, to get out of the corner. Driving style number two would be braking in a straight line, turning in, but as you're turning in, you're feeding the throttle on as well. Now that's very Red Bull style car, right? And not a lot of the other cars really have that. Haas has a kind of touch of it, but the Red Bull would be like that. So really, the only driving styles, that's kind of really what it boils down to, really, those two. There's a little kind of separate stuff, but not really. I won't go into it. I won't try and get too complicated with it, lads, sorry. But that's really what it comes down to. You know what I mean? And that's what they all will do. Like for Verstappen at Red Bull, it took him a while to get up and running, right? Now the car, when he, what was it, Verstappen, was he 17? I think he was 17 or 18 when he got into Formula 1. I think it was 17. Forgive me if I'm wrong, lads. But when Verstappen got there, the car wasn't, it was just after the Sebastian Vettel era. The car was on a downturn. Hamilton and Mercedes were kicking ass at the time. So the car was, it was there and thereabouts. So in a way, really, it was a perfect time for Verstappen to actually learn the car and get used to it. So he had a couple of races that he was just learning his craft and just to get used to that driving style. Totally fine. But that's the only thing, lads. That's the only thing. And back to Antonelli, he's doing great, but that's his job. Like, guys, even when I remember when I was racing karts, and you start off in cadet karts. That's when I was coming up. So cadets was like from 8 to 12 years of age. Then you were going to the junior 100cc karts. That's what we used to have. Juniors was from 12 up to 15 to 16. And then once you get to 16, you can go into the senior class, right? So the senior class was like, the Formula One of karting, okay? You've got all the big boys, the adults and all that. I remember in my first year in the senior class, I was leading the championship. Now, I actually lost out to the championship that year. Fine, finished second. Not a problem. Done. But I was leading the championship at one stage, lads. And I never looked around and said, hey, look at me, how brilliant am I, This is awesome. No, it was the same tracks we go to, same racecraft, same positioning, same strategizing, everything. The kart was it was pretty much the same speed as the junior class. I think we different carburetors, right? So the bigger the carburetor, the faster it was going. So that's what we had in play in the senior class. So the karts were technically quicker, but not really. Not really. You had a couple of differences, and I think the tires were different then as well. I think we stickier tires in the 100cc class. If I'm making a bad memory here, lads, forgive me. As far as I remember, all that's correct anyway. But, anyway, the point is, I didn't go around, hey, yeah, well, geez, Peter's doing brilliantly, isn't he? No one was going around saying that. That was my job. That was my job. Simple as that. It was my job to go out and win. Now, look, you can have a bad year where you have a couple of crashes, or you just have some bad luck in races, or, I had finished second in the championship that year. So what? At least, you put on a fight for it, and you go down. If you're going to go down, you go down swinging, but that's it, So, again, I got all over the place. Kimi Antonelli, he's doing very, very well this year, lads. He's doing very, very well. But that's his bloody job. Can we keep the standards up, lads? Because it kind of concerns me sometimes too here. Like, when people are praising him and, oh my God, he's amazing, he's a genius, he's brilliant. Lads, seriously. Anyway, so lads, I think we're going to wrap it up for today. So before we go, well, obviously we're going to be covering every single Grand Prix this year. Of course, we'll do a preview for the next race, and it's in May. Miami, isn't it? I think, yeah, Miami. And thanks to Donald Trump with this crazy war, well, we've got a few weeks ahead of us, lads. But anyway, we're going to be coming back with some Formula 1 news next week again. We'll be doing an update. What am I saying? Actually, I don't even know what I'm saying. But anyway, lads, yeah, let's leave it there today. Adios.
Walsh running the Irish green, and look at the move. He's making down to the inside.
Moves to the front. What a move from 5th all the way to the lead in lap 1.
Walsh takes win number 2.
Peter. Walsh.